How do you turn $4,800 into $1 billion? Dollar Shave Club did it. People don't buy the products. They buy what the product does for them. I've said this before. It's about the outcome. Dollar Shave Club went against the #1 razor company in the world, Gillette. What was the Gillette model? Gillette model had a couple things in product management. One, they never launched a new product line unless they had one in the hopper. And they kept going for different things. It was a razor blade model and pricing. You sell the razor pretty cheap, and then you keep adding on the blades. So for this wonderful Gillette shave, you might be paying $35. What did Dollar Shave Club do? They attacked that model head on. That model works. It is very profitable. But when you have a disruptor come, they started with contract manufacturing. They had a concept. What did it do? They learned the outcome. People wanted convenience. People didn't want to have to go to the store. I don't know too many men that say, wow, I like shopping for razors and razor blades. It was easier to go online, click, get it sent to you. They understood convenience and the good enough, and they disrupted the razor blade model. Later on, I'm going to tell you how a company beat somebody with a better product. So sometimes you don't need the best product. You just have to understand the consumer. What is the outcome that they're looking for? And you deliver that better than anybody else. Dollar Shave Club threaded the needle and then went right down the middle because they understood people wanted value and convenience. It wasn't about the greatest shave with 5 blades, 6 blades. They wanted it good enough, and they delivered that. Their original YouTube video was straight talk. What did that straight talk earn them? It cost $4,800 to make that YouTube video. 5 years later, they sold the company to Unilever for $1 billion. That's how you turn a $4,800 marketing spend into $1 billion sale. Talk about ROAS. That one video was wonderful. So here's a simple 5-step formula. First, what is your product? Second, why do your people buy it? Your ideal customer. Third, what is the emotional payoff? Fourth, what is the real product? What is the real business you're in? What are you really delivering for your client? And fifth, what is the niche that you serve? Now, here's one thing that's different in 2026 than in years before. Before, because you only had so much marketing budget and your main thing was print or media, you had to figure out your ideal customer profile, make it broad enough because you could only really do one television commercial. Now, with the advent of YouTube and interest media, and as I promised, here's the other side of the coin. What happens if you make a much better product? Coleman had been selling coolers for years. I remember going on campouts with my dad and we had the Coleman cooler. It cost about $49. YETI comes out and they did a roto-mold cooler, but instead of $49, it was $2.99. 6 times as much. Why did they price it so much? Because it was a premium product. It was a better cooler. You could put ice in there and it would stay good and cold for 5 days, maybe even a week. Depends on how many times you opened it. Coleman cooler, you'd open it up and by the morning, it was all water. Cool water, but it didn't last. That means if you were on a hunting trip, you had to go down and get so much ice, or you had to get that big block of ice and you had to get several of them. And it kept going down there. There was convenience. So what was the product of YETI? It was started by 2 brothers in 2006 in Austin, Texas. What did they do? They were contract manufacturing, but they built a better cooler, a premium product. And then it became a status symbol. But it wasn't really about the status. The product was a cooler. What was that emotional payoff? Is that when you were on a trip, things stayed cold. You didn't need to go going down. That emotional payoff was you knew things were going to stay cool. So what was the real business that they were in? Time. You didn't have to go down, if you're at the hunting, go down to the local Stop and Rob and buy ice every single day. And they have dominated that market with more profit than Coleman ever dreamed of having in the cooler space. And I can tell you from a product management, they debated that when it first came out. Who's going to buy a $2.99 cooler? This is ludicrous. So see the pattern. Dollar Shave Club had a worse product, but it understood value and convenience. YETI had a premium product, and it understand their niche also was a premium solution and convenience. If you try to be all things to all people, you're going to disappoint many. Find your niche. So here's also some old school advice I learned from a marketing professor and a marketing manager. If you want to understand the emotional payoff and what is the real business that you're in, you need to observe and passively observe people. I had a professor once that told me, and it was some of the best advice when I was interviewing for Hormel, go to the grocery store, hang out in the chili aisle, look like you're looking at chili. When someone goes to buy chili, say, excuse me, why are you buying that? I'm trying to decide between chili. I heard about Hormel, and you're going to hear the real reasons that they have. Sometimes you can't always do this with a very new product, but if you're going into an existing market, it's a great way to do things. If you would like the template that I've just shown you, type in 5 steps in the comments, and I'll send you the form to get the template. Remember, figure out what the emotional payoff is and what's the real business you're in. Then you can discover who your niche is. Hit like and follow to get more videos like this.